The Mets have acquired one of the premier pitchers in all of baseball. Kudos to David Stearns for making that happen. Freddy Peralta is a legit stud, a bona fide ace, and the perfect pairing with Nolan McLean at the top of the Mets rotation. And now with McLean and with Peralta, the Mets easily have one of the best 1-2 punch of any rotation in all of baseball. And when you look at the last week for David Stearns and the Mets, you add one of the best all-around hitters in baseball in Bo Bichette. Clutch, a gamer. You then trade for a legit center fielder, a guy with a huge ceiling, and his floor is 20 homers and 20 stolen bases in Luis Robert Jr. And now, the thing you have been looking for all off season, Met fans, my fellow Met fans, a bona fide, legit ace stud to put at the top of the rotation with Nolan McLean. David Stearns is putting on a clinic. David Stearns is cooking. The offseason started rocky to a lot of Met fans. You trade away Nimmo, Edwin Diaz walks, Pete Alonso walks, and it left many furious, angry, and wondering what the direction is for the Mets. And I preached patience. I said, don't overreact. Take a deep breath. We don't know the full picture of this offseason. We have not seen the plan unfold that David Stearns and Steve Cohen have in mind for this team. Well, now that we're here in mid-January, we can see it, and I love it. To me, the Mets are having an A-plus offseason. They have situated themselves to the point where they have a deep lineup with a lot of guys that are pros, gamers. You know their floor in Simeon, Polanco, Bichette. A guy with a high ceiling in Luis Robert Jr., and oh, by the way, a generational talent in Juan Soto. And oh, by the way, Francisco Lindor. To me, the Mets lineup this season is better than it was last season. There are tougher outs. There are more clutch players in it. And I am so excited to see that lineup day in and day out. But no matter how many bats the Mets added, the reaction from a lot of people was, well, can they pitch? They need pitching. The reason they didn't make October and the postseason last year was because of pitching. Where are the pitchers? And once again, I said, be patient. David Stearns is planning something big. And that plan has come to fruition tonight as the Mets have acquired one of the premier pitchers in all of baseball. Freddy Peralta, two-time All-Star, led the National League in wins last year, coming off a career season. A guy that you can put at the top of your rotation, the perfect pairing with Nolan McLean, and you now have easily one of the best tandems at the top of your rotation in all of baseball. Freddy Peralta is durable. He takes the ball every 5 days, and he's only getting better. And that's why all along I said, be patient. The pitching is coming. The pitching will arrive. The pitching is a focus. It's a long off season. And now, over the last week, David Stearns is putting on a clinic. And he's silencing all the doubters and all the haters and everybody that said the Mets were waving the white flag and they weren't looking to compete. Well, the product that they're going to put on the field is going to be better than last season. And not just the second half, because we know how that went. I'm talking about first half too. This is a complete baseball team filled with leadership, pros, gamers, athletes, guys that play defense, and now, which is the most important thing you can have, especially when you consider the way the Mets season ended, and that's two guys in your rotation that can stop the bleeding, that can stop any losing streak, that no matter what's going on, no matter what waters you're trying to navigate, you can always rely on Nolan McLean and Freddy Peralta. So kudos to David Stearns and kudos to the Mets for having the guts to sticking with their vision, making moves early on that were, or lack of moves or decisions that were extremely unpopular, letting homegrown players leave or traded away, canceling out all the outside noise, tunnel vision, sticking with the plan, even though they probably knew this is going to be unpopular in the beginning. But when it all comes to fruition, everybody is going to love it. And I, for one, love it. I love what David Stearns has done this past week. I love what he's done all off-season. It's really been a masterclass. Chess, not checkers, chess. To build a sustained winner in Queens. And this is why I never doubted him, because he has a track record of success. David Stearns has a track record of success. And Steve Cohen has the money. So all the false narratives that the Mets don't want to spend have been debunked quite quickly because they've done a lot of spending this offseason. And the marriage between Steve Cohen, which is, hey, unlimited bank account, with David Stearns, who has success and a track record of building a winner, that's why I've always been uber excited and thrilled with the prospects of this pairing. And now everybody else, I hope, is on board with that. Because it was ugly for Positive Tommy there for a couple weeks, not going to lie. And that was just from family members, and they owe me an apology. I'm sure they'll write me a letter. But now, as we sit here, and we inch closer and closer and closer and closer to opening day, we can all agree that the Mets have had an A-plus offseason. And this is a lineup that was better than last year's. And this is a top of the rotation that is better than last year. And the Mets have improved in left field. They've improved at second base. They've improved at third base. They've improved in the starting rotation. And they have young prospects like Carson Bench on the way. And a farm system that you can get excited about. Now, they dealt a couple of players. We will get into that as we go here. What they gave up. But remember, you got to give to get, especially when you're acquiring an all-star pitcher who led the NL in wins last year. So it's not going to come cheap. But you have a fantastic farm system. You have a lot of young players.